self-leadership. It is not just a concept, and emotional intelligence also. It's not just a concept. They are actively practices. Those of you who are new don't know, but yeah, self-led. It's not how you feel in one given moment. It is actually how you're able to stay steady in life and relationships as uncertainty comes around and activates that lovely nervous system of yours and mine. Panic attacks gave me lots of practice as a mystic and as a person who has 0 1 year old, attached panicky, 3 to 7, shame submissive, freeze of all ages, flight 11 12, fight 14 15 16. But as an integrated brain, I know when they're coming up. All of my child parts, and I don't do child work because they're doing great. I'm still taming the judgmental asshole. She's my teenage version who doesn't like ignorance or mediocre minds, but emotional intelligence again. So it's not a personality trait. It's when you're consistently and continuously working with your likes and dislikes like a grown-up can and not judging people good or bad, but noticing those who are weak need each other's validation. Those who are weak, triggered by any kind of identity. Those who I call weak are the same ones who don't notice there's not a good team and a bad team. There's a team. It's called our lovely human species. So when you can be a self-leader, that's when you can be a leader for the world because you know how to anchor in your ventral energy. And then you also know how not to call sadness laundry and that emotions last 90 seconds. Okay, so I'm going to pause just in case you want to go somewhere. And that's because there's a Zen master out there who tells you he's a Zen master while he has laundry. There's a cynic out there who tells you it's not possible for us to cry on screen and that they want a world where it's about what is right, not what feels right. And then there's a bunch of assholes out there who talk to you still about evil with the lack of imagination, and I think you lack the education. And others who tell you about fucking and wedding bells, it's like, no, now you're trash to the ignorant human beings who actively still are ignorant in ways that are beyond my bejesus. And when you are part of the polyamory community, you don't say, you're not poly enough. And monoamory don't say, ew, you're poly. And we don't do this, ew. And, oh, we're, as a society, need to be one or the other. So emotionally mature people, we like topics. And that's why being a leader is not about a concept. You'll know who a leader is. And that's the minute that inside their body, long before words or actions show up, they're able to not have any kind of trigger because again you're not triggered by your ego. So for me, for example, my one emotional charge that I am still mastering as I'm sharing with you all about the judgmental asshole is the irritation that I get from low frequency, anyone who's a groupie, because they just pat each other in the back. They use plenty of words, and then when it comes to if they were on their own feet by themselves, you'll notice they wouldn't be able to stand a chance. They won't be able to stand solid ground. And so it's just, I don't like liars. And you can pick up on people's nervous system because we are actively one species. And so this is the other part. When we are in our mui, like Dr. Daniel Siegel calls it, or the biosphere, like Terry Real calls it, we are picking up on the frequency. And even Tara Brock talked about it during the COVID. We pick up all, and people who don't believe in it, they won't be back here. So I know, like the animal kingdom, we are part of it. And those who think God and animal kingdom don't go together, these are all people who will not be inspiring any human potential, because the minute ego's in town, excuse me, you're confusing science spirituality. Left brainers is what I call non-bilaterally integrated brain people, and they actively don't know how to have 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 come together. While those who have right and left together, we're fine with all of it because it's not confusing anything. And it's linear, but it's consilient. And so we actually, that's where intelligence, not a concept, the capacity to stay grounded in reality. So when someone makes fun of my crystals, I don't do anything as a mystic. And I'm not a spiritual bypasser, so I'm not going to have to prove crystals or my guides or Jesus or ascended masters or Buddha or when I'm channeling or downloading. I won't prove it because, number one, spiritual and mysticism has always been on the other spectrum of science. But science doesn't prove spiritual is fake either. So with that being said, science, spirituality, they come together and show leadership. It's within you, and it's your nervous system, and it's your higher self. Welcome aboard, and check out our PayHip store for inner growth mindset practices and journal prompts, and also Spotify for subscription-based model content. Have a great day.